Hello everyone, welcome to RSE Asia Australia Unconference 2024. The Unconference will be running from 11 to 13 September 2024, and we have our key partners ARDC, Australian Access Federation, and AURIN. Do we want to have the introductions from the key partners at this moment?
No, we'll wait until we show the slide. There's another slide later on.
All right. Roland, please acknowledge the countries.
Yeah, thanks. So I'd like to acknowledge the Boonwurrung people on whose unceded lands I live here in Melbourne. And I'd like to respectfully acknowledge their elders past and present. And I'd like to also acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout the continent of Australia. And I'd like to pay my respects to their elders past and present as well. And I would encourage those present, if you know which unceded lands you're on today, to write it into the chat. Thanks.
Thanks, Roland. So, why are we running this unconference? It is so that we can build awareness of the research software community, to create awareness in the community of what is happening. We also want to discuss the need for recognition and clear career paths for RSCs. We also want to demonstrate the values that RSC add to various institutions and various departments throughout the unconference. We will also check if we are meeting the requirements of the community through our initiatives. Our organizing committee has 4 members for this year. It's Roland and me, Jyoti as the co-chair. Roland is being the co-chair from Australia, and I'm working as the co-chair from Asia. Richard, who's joining from Africa, has worked as the secretary for the unconference, and Chris has also helped in organizing the unconference so far. We also want to thank our fiscal sponsor, Open Life Science, who has supported us with all the sponsorships. Something to note about the code of conduct is that we need to be kind and patient to everyone. We should be respectful and understanding. Also, be patient with the organizers too, since we are running this entirely on a voluntary basis. You can also scan the QR code to know more about the code of conduct. And please remember that we have a diverse audience joining from different parts of the world. So be kind and patient to everyone. This is something interesting that I wanted to let everyone know, that we have people joining us from 22 different countries, and there are 97 registrations this year. People have joined from Australia, Asia, as well as Africa. Our key partners, as I said earlier, are ARDC, Australian Access Federation, AAF, and AURIN. We also have accessibility partner in the form of Society of Research Software Engineering, and allied partners as NCI Australia.
Did you want to go back, Jyoti?
Yep.
And we can ask, I think we've got Terry, and
Yes.
maybe Lauren might be here, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if we have someone for the ARDC, so
Yeah, I guess we have Terry from AAF. Would you like to speak a little more about AAF to the participants over here?
Yeah, I've got a sort of short 5-minute presentation. I can sort of slot in now if that works for you.
All right. Do you want to share your screen, Terry?
Yeah.
All right.
Start up my PowerPoint thing. Let's see. It's pretty good. Not so far. Bear with me. So can you see the title page?
Can't see anything, sorry.
Ah, right. Try again. Let's just cheat. That's probably showing us wrong screen, isn't it? Do it the hard way. Anyway, skipping on like this. Can we see the screen now? Rescreen.
Yep.
Okay, so AIF, we're a national capability that delivers trust and identity services. The AIF is one of Australia's leading identity providers, identity and access management services for education and the research sector. We make it easy for researchers to securely access national and international research applications and data sets. We've got some guiding principles that drive our delivery. So we're delivering innovative and technical solutions. We provide secure access to high value digital resources and infrastructure. We try to do co-design, but try to be nationally engaged. Utilize international best practice and sustainable business operations. AF provides three main services. Our federation, so we're offering single sign-on for authentication to over 1.4 million users, which are all of the university and research sector folk in Australia. We're actually trying to grow that to cover a wider range of potential researchers. We're also the National ORCID Consortium lead, so we work with ORCID to ensure that all our researchers have an ORCID ID and are utilising them most effectively. And we're also trust and identity with an NCRIS facility now that supports fully the NCRIS facilities across Australia with identity and access management stuff. Quick look at what Federation does. The Federation delivers world-class single sign-on, allows an individual access services across their organisational boundaries and also across national boundaries to collaborate and access online resources within a trusted environment. So this is just a little diagram of what a user would experience. They go to some service in the Federation. That service will ask them to log in. So they go off to a thing which we call our discovery service, which asks the user to identify which organisation they're from. They're then sent to their home organisation to log in with their university provided credential. And once they've successfully done that, they could go back to the service as a logged in user and can continue to do their work and collaborate with only the one username, one password, and nowadays 1 second factor to do everything is the aim. We're also improving our capabilities in cybersecurity. And there's a whole raft of work that we're being funded by the government to help NCRIS facilities become more cyber secure. I won't really dive into that, but there's a whole raft of work that we're doing that'll be ongoing for a while. We have 3 options for services to connect to this to the Federation. That's a bit technical, but we do provide SAML, which is security assertion markup language. It's been around for a long, long time. There's lots of services, lots of software that support it. And it's a web-based technology. So it's not really suited for mobile devices. It's more very web-based. JSON Web Tokens is another option that we provide service providers and developers to connect to the Federation. It predates OIDC. It's well supported, it's simple to use, and it's JSON based, which also it makes it very easy to use. More recently, we're supporting OIDC. It's a modern, lightweight protocol that's more performance friendly for identity authentication. So we have plenty of ways that you can connect your service to the Federation and make it available to researchers in Australia. Our Federation Manager tool, this is the one that sort of drives everything. It's the keychain that holds everything together effectively. You register your services in our Federation Manager to connect to the Federation. And it supports all of those connection types I've just spoken about. We have a test environment that's open to anyone. You don't need to be part of the Federation to play in the test environment. So it's really great for your student researchers, developers, and so forth to get some practice or just do some testing before they go live into production with their service that's connected to the Federation. And we have a whole raft of tutorials which we've recently put up to help you get started. These tutorials will go through how to connect to the Federation with your service in the 3 different types, all the steps that you need to do. So it's lots of step-by-step guides. And we're making it open so that you can add your own content or tutorial information to this. So if you find that there's something missing, don't be afraid to actually write up some content and add it to our tutorial set and make that available to everybody. So this is part of our co-design with our community, and we welcome contributions from the community to our AAF tutorial sets. And that's pretty much where I'm going to finish. So we're here to work with you guys to provide you ways to easily connect and develop ways to connect to the Federation to make it easier for your researchers to actually access your services across national and global boundaries. So that's it. That's what IAF do.
Perfect. Thanks, Laurie. Thanks, Terry. Do we have Lauren over here?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Lauren, would you like to go share your screen and go ahead and speak about AURN?
Yeah, I'm happy to just wave my hands. I don't really have anything prepared. So, well, not to say I'm not prepared. So I'm Lauren from Oren, the Australian Urban Research Infrastructure Network. I'm the head of engineering. And essentially, Oren is a national research infrastructure facility. So we're part of the NCRIS family, the National Collaborative Research Infrastructure Strategy, which the Department of Education plows money into so that we can help researchers do what they do better. We're a digital research infrastructure facility. So everything we do is all in the cloud, all based on digital assets, digital data, access to compute, these sorts of things. And that sort of separates us from many of our sister facilities within the NCRIS. For instance, astronomers and folks looking to do nanofabrication. Very different requirements, very different sort of time to life from research being conducted to actually being out in the wild. I love that my iPhone gets smaller every year, or maybe I kind of wish it would actually get smaller every year instead of bigger. But the time to life to the screens and the components that a research in material science would expect is 10 years, 15 years. Same thing with the medical community. In the urban community, you hope that if there's some new policy that says maybe we should have more parks, that in the next 6 months we start breaking ground and have more parks. So it's very important for the urban research community, which Oren basically takes care of, has access to those tools to allow them to come up with these hypotheses, test them digitally, and then put them in the hands of decision makers as quickly as possible. And so at Oren, we basically work on a number of different ways to support researchers. There's the just getting access to hard to get data sets, trying to get mobility data and prize it from the hands of Telstra to put it in the hands of researchers so they know where people are and what they're doing. Trying to get access to secure data facilities so that we can do, properly secure data analysis on, say, unit record level medical data to help inform information about who would be the most vulnerable in a heat wave and where those people generally live. And so where should 000 be ready to respond? And so these sorts of hard to get data sets is a big part of what we do. Giving access to national facilities as well, like getting access to these secure facilities, getting access to workflow engines, various different ways that we can support researchers with cloud-based tools is a big thing that we do. And then the last thing, one of the last things we do is that human infrastructure. So we have a team of 14 folks in the engineering department at Oren that range from research software engineers to dedicated software engineers to DevOps to data engineers to data scientists. And across the board, we're building and maintaining that physical or that digital infrastructure I was telling you about, but we're also directly supporting researchers. So in a lot of cases, the hard to get data is not something that the company, because in a lot of cases it's a private company, they don't necessarily want researchers directly to have access to it. Pretty much the same way you wouldn't want an astronomer to touch a telescope, to be honest. And you always have a technician there keeping the telescope safe from the naive scientist. Similarly, in a lot of cases, our data scientists would work directly with researchers coming in to gain access to this very sensitive data that we've been able to get access to, or commercially sensitive data. So those are the kinds of things that Oren's up to. And I'm just excited to be here because one of the big things as a research institution, as a research infrastructure facility that we're running into, that a lot of research software engineers run into individually, is that we're based out of a university, like many Anchors facilities. And so we're kind of tied to the false dichotomy of you're either an academic or a professional staff. And so our cohort of engineers, we'd all categorize as research infrastructure specialists, but that's another flavor of a research software engineer. And trying to do advocacy on in regards to how do we recognize the fact that almost everybody has an advanced degree and has done research in the past, but now is tied to a professional pay scale that has limitations and benefits that are different. How can we work on that is something I'm very personally excited about, and then professionally it's important as well. So I'm very excited to be here to discuss these things sort of at a higher level, and for Oren to be able to support such an endeavor. Thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot, Lauren. We would also have liked to have an introduction from Paula ARDC, but I don't really see her over here. So just to mention, ARDC is one of the third key partners that we have for the unconference. Moving ahead, I'll go ahead with the next slides. And let me share my screen. All right. I hope the screen is visible to everyone. So moving on towards RSE AA24. You can scan the QR code to know more about the schedule. It has the list of all the keynotes. Today we are going to be having 2 keynotes, a strategy and policy panel discussion. There are going to be poster sessions and also discussion sessions where you can choose and vote for the topics that you want to speak about during the conference. If you need more information, please do check out the QR code, and also you can ask for any help in the Slack in #help and support. The link to the Slack invitation would have been in the chat. Throughout the unconference, we will be having 3 keynotes. One is from Professor Sarinder Kaur from Institute of Biological Sciences, University of Malya, who has joined us today. We'll have another keynote from Dr. Ariana Siula and another one from Javier, who has also joined us today from Turn. Today we are going to be having a strategy and policy panel where the panelists would be Mercedes, Dr. Manodip Sinha, myself Jyoti, and Professor Sandra Jasing and Professor Johnston Hollett. Please, I apologize if I have pronounced your names incorrectly. Also, I'm happy to share that we have 2 accessibility fellows who have joined us. That's Harsh Kalra and Sanchit Ghule, who have already introduced themselves during the introductions. Harsh has been working in the digital accessibility space, and Sanchit is a recent graduate from IIT from India. We thank Linux Australia and Society of RSC for funding these fellowships. Throughout the unconference, please feel free to introduce yourself in the channel #introductions. You might also want to share your LinkedIn or Gmail addresses so that people can connect with you later on. You might also want to highlight what you are willing, if you are willing to chat with someone one-on-one. Also, please feel free to reach out to people that have mentioned that they are keen on connecting in their introduction. Please feel free to ask someone in the breakout rooms if they would like to connect over Slack. And just a reminder from Code of Conduct, please be kind and gentle to everyone. Today, we will be having poster sessions for which the judges are Terry Smith, Paula, and Adam Steer. So thanks for that, Terry, Paula, and Adam. For the posters, we will have you can join, you can scan the QR code to see all the instructions. You can create a title and abstract via GitHub discussions and then add the document to Zenodo. Add a link to connect your GitHub discussions to your Zenodo so that people can connect. And any posters that are considered outstanding will get a digital certificate with a DOI. The GitHub discussions link has been shared in the chat. If not, I'll share it again. So for the discussion sessions, you can scan the QR code to know more about the discussion sessions. So we are going to be having the discussions via GitHub discussion. So you can go to the link and add a topic or vote on a topic that already exists over there. In each of the 3 sessions, we will identify the top most popular topics and split groups into to discuss the top 2 to 3 topics. The aim over here is to have 3 takeaways from each topic that is written on the GitHub discussions. Roland, do you want to add anything over there?
No, it's just that Rob can't make it for that first one, so I'll be sharing the sharing session for session 1 with Junran. Thanks, Junran.
All righty. So some tips for discussion sessions. When we are suggesting a topic, please think of both a topic and an angle. So it shouldn't go like, let's talk about Python. So a better example would be Python war stories, the good and the ugly. Please don't be scared to pick up tough topics which you don't generally find in other conferences. If you have any tough topics in mind, please go ahead and add it to the GitHub discussions. Also, take advantage of this unique opportunity as we have people with a mix of experience and perspectives, and that's where we are going to benefit from this unconference. And also relax and have fun. throughout the unconference. Don't be surprised if there are just 2 people in a room. If there are just 2 people in a breakout room, and if you find a topic that is a common interest to both of you, it would be nice to discuss. Also, please let people have the option to either have their videos on or off, or also they can people are free to either speak, unmute themselves and speak, or just type in the chat. Additionally, at the end, we will let people have 5 minutes of quiet time so that they can write down their comments to summarize what they have understood from the discussion session. Roland, do you want us to have the RSC Asia Australia updates this time around?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. I'll go ahead with the RSC Asia update, followed by Roland, who would be updating us about RSC Australia. So RSC Asia has 90 plus members since its launch in September 2021. We have 2 co-founders, which is myself, Jyoti Bhogal from India, and Saranjit, who is based in UK now. We also have an advisory board. So why do members want to join us? The most common reason for people to join us is that they want to collaborate with people working with RSC skills in the Asian region. So something important that I want to highlight over here is that in across the Asian region, there aren't really many roles that exist with the title of RSE, but people do have the skills who are working with different job titles, but they aren't really recognized as RSE. So that's something that we want to work towards. I also want to share some recent successes. The co-founders recently completed Community Engagement Fundamentals from CSCCE, which is a certification on better community management. Also, RSC Asia has been joining hands with RSC AUNZ since past 3 years. And right now we are in the middle of the 3rd annual flagship event, RSC Asia Australia Unconference. There are some challenges that we face, which is making the community sustainable since it is being run entirely on a volunteer basis. So that is some challenge that we have been facing since the launch of the event. And we have been supported with some micro fundings here and there, but they just help in sustaining the operational costs and doesn't really pay for the time that people devote to development of RSC Asia Association. Yep, that's all about RSC Asia. I would like to hand it over to Roland to speak about RSC Australia New Zealand update.
Thanks, Jyoti. We've got 479 members and 7 committee members. And we also have a strategy that I'll show on the next slide. And when we went through and reviewed 150 of our member requests, we found that some of the key things they look for, the top one by mile was they're looking for jobs. And then underneath it, the next 3 were they want to connect with RSEs, they want to stay up to date, although I'm not sure whether that means technically or through technical news, and the fact that this community actually aligns with their job. We've received anecdotal good feedback about sharing job information. And I think RSC Asia Australia has actually helped raise the profile of this community. But one of the challenges that they're facing is like, how do we know that we're doing the right thing by the community? How do we know that what we reviewed before is still the thing that they need? So it'd be really interesting to understand from the community in the next couple of days what your interests are and how we can help you. And also the recruitment and retention of volunteers. Just next slide, Jyoti.
Yep.
I won't go into it because I know we're a little bit over time, but the 4 main goals we're aiming for is to bring the community together, raise the profile of RSEs, to create a diverse and sustainable community, and a roadmap to a mature structure. Thanks, Jyoti.
All right. So,
Well, I was going to say, since we're running a little bit out of time, and for the benefit of Sarinder, do we want to go to the keynote right now?
I think we can. Yep.
So,
Sure.
Sarinder, are you happy to
Yeah, I'm okay with
kick off?
anything. I'm free for the next 1 hour also.
Oh, okay. Well, can we do the live polling then? That would be great. So these are the questions for the live polling. Thanks, Sarinder. And we've got the link. Let me grab. This is the link to the live polling, just in case you don't have the QR code. And if you want to jump onto that, Jyoti, so you can see what it looks like, it should be paused. You should come up with a thing saying, you know.
Yes. I'll go to the link and then
Yeah,
share
do you
my
want to
screen.
share your screen? Yeah, share your screen.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
So we've got 22 people connected so far out of about 41. So let's, yeah, so it should look like this. And we'll go through the questions very, very soon. So the first question will be, let's just wait till we hit about 30. We're up to 29. Okay, we've hit 30. So what city and country are you attending from today? So I'm Melbourne, Australia. Warrnambool, I heard that one, yeah. They've got 6 from Melbourne, we've got Pune in India, Bendigo in Australia. It's nice to see the regional ones, Jakarta, Indonesia, Kampala, Uganda, Tokyo, Japan, Hobart, Matata, Sri Lanka, Brisbane, Australia. 26 answers received. Dhaka in Bangladesh. Another one for Melbourne. And a couple in Brisbane. Now, sorry, I get distracted.
Is anyone joining from Pune besides me? From India? It would be nice to connect.
We got 2 from Dhaka in Bangladesh. And another one from Bangladesh. Kuala Lumpur. New Zealand. Aotearoa. 35.
I appreciate that the
Indore,
New
India.
Zealand person doesn't think that New Zealand has cities in it. That's the highlight.
Fantastic. We had 35 people answer out of 42. So it's a very broad one. And I'm sure we're going to have more people from Africa joining a little bit later because it's still a bit early for them. Okay, let's go on to the next question. This is to also, what languages can you speak? So I'm going to put English and Spanish. Because I remember we did this in the first one, and it was really interesting to see. I think someone had like 5 or 6. So we've got English and Spanish, Indonesian and English, some French, Slovak in English, Norwegian, Sinhala, Russian and English, Hindi, Punjabi, Marathi, Kannada, Hindi, Persian, Farsi, Bangla, Spanish, Chinese, Cantonese, English, French, German. Oh, too many. That's cool. I really like that. German a little, Punjabi, Malay. I'm trying to learn Indonesian, so as a proxy for Malay. That's really nice. Japanese, fantastic. All right. Next question. This one should be even just as diverse as anything else. What's your job title? And I can't even type it. And head of engineering, research officer, lecturer, research software engineer. Oh, nice. Research assistant. Yep. Database administrator. Oh, wow. It's just associate professor of data science and bioinformatics. There's a lot there. I don't think I can even keep up. Part-time research assistant, freelance geospatialist, CS student, technical staff, head of support, associate professor, community manager, lots of different variations there, which is why RSC is actually quite a broad umbrella, really. And that's why a lot of people think, oh, you know, RSC, I'm not really an RSC. Well, that's why we want to think about ourselves as part of a research software community, I guess. Thank you so much, everyone. And this is, why are you attending RSC AA24? Maybe you're curious, it's your first time, or maybe you were here before and you liked it, or you wanted to connect, or you wanted to share information, or you wanted to connect, curiosity, connecting, to learn from others, to connect. What to promote my RSC at my institution? Interesting. Interest in advocacy for RSC career paths. We had a lot of conversations at the Leaders Forum yesterday around that. Connect with the other RSC in Asia and Australia. Yes, actually, I'm really keen on building more contacts in Asia around RSC. Love research, but also love RSC. Curious and connect with industry. If anyone wants to, you know, if you're typing on this and you want to have a comment in the chat, that's also fine too. I want to leave this one on for a little bit longer, just because it's really helpful for us to understand what you're interested about, because this is a primer for when you're thinking about the topics that you want to talk about later on. So we'll just wait for a little bit more. Want to know what tools are out there to learn from others, sharing and connecting, share information and get up to date.
Hey, Roland, would we be sharing this
Absolutely.
summary with the whole audience?
Yeah, I can dump it out as a PDF, which isn't very accessible. Sorry, Sanchit and Hirsch, to be able to share it and say, here's the information there. Learn about diversity and best practices. Fantastic. Thanks, everyone. Again, this is a primer for what do we want to talk about, what do we want to do, because again, this is participant based. So here's a question. What are the biggest career job search challenges you face working in research software in your own domain? So it might be short contracts. It might be not really valued. It might be, this is I expect to see a pattern here, but looking too different from other candidates, insecure work, short contracts, no career path, not valued by pure researchers until it's too late. That's what I'm typing in. And, oh, actually, you know what? I should be allowing people to. I'm so sorry. I didn't turn on unlimited. Yes.
Yeah,
I forgot to turn on. You can write it again if you want to. And Jyoti, do you want to show how that works?
Yep. So you can add one answer and then submit it, and then you can go ahead and add another answer. So you can give multiple answers. So I'll just add one more.
No, you can just select. You can
Yep.
select the thing and just type in something. Just type in something. Yeah, you'll just be able to re-add.
Yep.
Sorry, I should have had that on for the other ones as well. Juggling RSE activities with academic research. You feel hard to hire a skilled engineer. Job insecurity, not an academic. Very common sort of things. Research funding. Actually, that came up a lot yesterday as well. Thank you, everyone. All right, let's go on to the next one. And again, we're thinking about how this is going to influence discussion topics we want to talk about a little bit later. What are the biggest non-career challenges you face working in research software? So this might be technical things, bureaucracy. I'm going to say keeping up to date with technology and research. I think that's actually a real challenge. Isolation, keeping up to date. In-person connections are rare due to lack of RSE roles in India, bureaucracy, isolation. People knowing what you do. Lack of understanding that providing 50% of the needed time resources doesn't get you 50% of a research project. Connecting with experienced RSEs. No personal life. Working too hard. Many people in my area works with Python and I don't. Technical training information, not knowing who to turn to. Lack of understanding. Less RSE roles. Still getting answers coming in, so I'll let it run a little bit more. Fantastic. All right, I'll move on to the next question. If you'd like to grow your network, who would you like to connect with? What skills, knowledge, experience? So mine is connect to funders. Connect to grant reviewers, actually. People who know Django, Drupal. So if you're thinking about this, if you are someone who knows Django, you can go through and update your introduction on Slack later on. People who have permanent jobs, they're good. That's difficult. People with experience in technology, more senior RSEs, yeah. R and Python, front-end technologies. Researchers with grants that need developers. Data visualization. A wide range of clients. Senior RSEs, that came up again. And we'll go through post-event, go through this and put this down into a report. But you can also use this, we'll share this around a little bit later to take this into account when you're looking at your discussion topics as well. People in experience in technology use what we would like to use, senior technical professionals, funders and RSEs. Developer needs authentication services. Actually, we need a lot of that. We're doing a lot of work around authentication now. That's not straightforward. Okay, thank you so much. All right, I think everyone, this is the last question. What does a great research software conference or event look like for you? So this is to make an understanding what would you like to benefit out of today or in the next couple of days to make this worthwhile for you? And just remember, you're an active participant in this event. So the key is to think about how can you make that work, or if you want to ask for help to make it work, we're here to help you. So we made connections with people who know funders, but we've got meeting interesting people and building meaningful connections with them, meeting new people to get clarity on career path. Connections, oh, that's me. Not just engineers, but also clients and funders. Engaging event like this, better understanding of the job market, a better idea of what things are out there that we could use, more opportunity to connect. It is a supportive community. Should provide proper guidelines from beginners to the experts level. One that fosters discussion, more connections. Practical demos, future connections, recorded videos, connecting with people. To get clarity on career path, that came up again. Just like RCA A24, inclusive and welcoming. Thanks for that. Getting to know new people and their experiences. Nice, nice. Connecting with others. So as we're doing this, as we're getting the last ones here, Sarinder, would you like to start sharing your screen so that we can switch over to?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And we'll just, we've got a few like recorded video, hands-on experience in mentoring, technical topics and discussions, recorded video, understanding what would help you contribute to our community. So fantastic.
Can you see my screen?
I certainly can. So we'll wrap up with the answers. Thanks very much for everyone. I'm going to export this out as a PDF and we'll share it with everyone. And in the meantime, Jyoti, would you like to?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go ahead and introduce Associate Professor Dr. Sarinder Kaur. So Dr. Sarinder was awarded a Bachelor of Computer Science in 2000 and a Master in Computer Science in 2002 from the Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology, University of Malaya. She then completed her PhD in bioinformatics at the Faculty of Science, University of Malaya in 2007. Currently, she is an associate professor in the same department. Dr. Sarinder has been very active in teaching, supervision, publication, research, and administration. She has taught courses such as Introduction to Database Systems, Advanced Database and Big Data, Programming in Bioinformatics, Data Analytics in Biology, Algorithms and Tools in Bioinformatics, and Computing at master and undergraduate levels. She is also the principal investigator of the Data Science and Bioinformatics Laboratory at which has a team of both local and international collaborators from the University of Malaya Medical Center, Cancer Institute, Monash University, Malaya, University of Cambridge, and the University of Saskatchewan. Yep, the floor is yours, Dr. Sarinder Kaur. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you, Roland. Yeah, I think the introduction was enough for me to start off my presentation today. I hope all of you can hear me. So I come from a very academic background. Since I finished my bachelor's degree in computer science in University of Malaya, I joined in the University of Malaya as well as an academic. And it's been now, I think, about 23 years or so that I've been, involved in teaching and research. And basically, my background is mostly on data analytics, and I work with a lot of different kinds of data, mostly medical data at the moment. I've worked with a lot of biodiversity data previously. And yeah, basically, I work on mostly algorithms and machine learning prediction, build machine learning prediction models. And my talk will revolve around the topic of artificial intelligence, which is really very, very in demand at the moment, with a lot of new things that are coming up and new discoveries in many areas, especially in the area of deep learning, machine learning, natural language processing, and so on. So with the advancement of generative AI, we are actually now creating a lot of content in artificial intelligence content in many areas as well. So my research actually focuses on the area of medical health care and clinical informatics. And this is just a comic that maybe, will break the ice a little bit. Now, basically my project revolves around a lot of bioinformatics approaches where I work a lot with the universities abroad, especially in identifying the genes, therapeutic genes, and potential biomarkers for cancer. For this project, I work a lot with the scientists in University of Saskatchewan. And then on the clinical informatics side, I work with our local hospital that is attached to University of Malaya Medical Center, which is one of the biggest hospital in Malaysia. And we have a lot of data that is being generated on a daily basis in many areas, both text and image data sets. So I build systems. I use a lot of artificial intelligence pipeline to improve the clinical data quality, healthcare safety, effectiveness, timeliness, and so on. So mostly I've built some data mining, data science. I've been involved in data science projects to analyze breast cancer clinical and lifestyle factors to improve the survival of patients, because breast cancer is one of the most deadly disease in the country at the moment. And we are trying to use AI to try to, find the factors that affect the survival of our patients. Also, we work on the text mining in radiology reporting, pathology reporting, and we also build some apps for patients to navigate the diagnostic process at the hospital. So I think this is quite common a lot of people are actually talking about big data analytics and decision, how this is important, and how decisions at the moment are formulated through data and the use of high-end analytics to try to churn some information that could help us provide insights and so on. These are the important terms that you might be, looking at if you are working in this area. And the foundation, I would say, foundation for AI would be a lot of statistics, mathematics, machine learning, because these are the important foundation that we need to build upon when we do data science or we do artificial intelligence. We can't run away from the foundation, which is mathematics and statistics. So in terms of big data, I think we all know that big data is not just data, right? Because there's a lot of data that is being churned out by sensors, by social media, and so on. How we actually quantify data as big data is through all these elements, which has created a very big important concept in AI. And with the advancement of or the availability of big data, we can actually come up or do a lot of analytics that will, it's like a term where we normally it's a very famous term in computer science. Those who are involved in computer science, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So I would always tell my students that if you have good quality data, a lot of data that's good quality, then your prediction, your models, your outcome, your analytics would be as good quality as that. But of course, if it's garbage in, garbage out, you expect garbage if you are putting in garbage to the computer. So computer is a device, an instrument for you to use to try to come up with analytics, but you need good quality data. Right? So the nature of data, we have many data that comes from many areas, from our business processes, from internet, social media, Internet of Things, using sensors, and so on. Of course, we need to look into the Data Protection Act. So I work a lot with the hospital, where we are very sensitive with the security or privacy, confidentiality of the data. Hence, we normally try to anonymize our data or de-identify our data before we could, do any analysis, or we try not to publish the data anywhere because it's protected. And of course, we try to publish whatever outcome that we get from the data. Now, in this area of data science, data analytics, and so on, of course, I come from a very academic background. I would say that, I have some working, or I do have some industry experience because I work a lot with the companies that are doing a lot of AI. However, okay, those who are really into, a full-time industry attachment, they would, be either they would be called a data scientist, data engineer, database admin. We have a term called data journalist as well, machine learning engineer, big data analyst. So these are the kind of terms that are very common these days, where people are trying to be one of them to get why? Because of knowledge, because of the salaries probably, and the value that they provide to the organization and company and so on. So that although data scientists, data engineers may overlap their jobs or duties, but still they do different kind of things, where the data scientists normally will understand. Data scientist is the big guy who actually looks at the entire process of the business related issues, answers, analyzing, processing large amounts of data, and data engineers basically only look into the data. Data analyst basically collects volumes of data, visualize, transform. Data architect, basically data is available for data scientists and analysis. So all these people that are working in this area, also the business analyst, statistician, machine learning engineer, these are the people that will come up with the analytics and also provide insights to the problems. I would say the business analyst, okay, would be very important in this area, because a business analyst is a professional who do the market research analysis to improve efficiency and the company's overall profitability. And also we have other job roles, database administrator, NLP engineers, and so on. Also data skills. Okay, whatever job that you are involved in or you're working in, the most, I would say, the skill that we all need is the data skills. Although, okay, we have the knowledge, we have the coding skills, we have the soft skills, data skills, you will see that it's required in every metrics, okay? You will see that if you are working as a business analyst, you need to understand the data. If you are even the application developer or citizen data scientist, the data skills is a key skill that is required at every level. It's a very big business, yeah. This business, if you are really into it, again, you would notice that it's worth over 348 billion, okay, it's globally, because of the amount of data that's generated every day. And I would say that, according to the statistics, this industry is going to boom even more, okay, by 2028. And because 70% of the world's data is user generated. And of course, one important thing that we can't forget is the cloud computing, because if you have data, you need to store it somewhere. So the market, as you can see how it's increasing by year 2030, you will see that it's a very big, it's a 329.8 billion industry. Now, if you see from here, okay, this is some of the market analysis about data analytics, and the key players would be, the big giants, Amazon, Microsoft, Oracle, and many more, Google, and so on. And what are the kind of services? Basically, software, hardware, and the data analytics services that we can provide. Now, because I come from a very academic background, I do a lot of data analytics, but in terms of coming up with tools, all right? And the tools that I do basically, or I generate or I develop, is basically tools like predictive data analytics tool, using the retrospective data that we have in the hospital. And the process itself is actually starts with data collection. It's a very general pipeline where we first collect the data and we do data analytics, and finally we make decisions based on the analytics that we have executed on the data. And this is a paradigm shift from informing to driving decision making. And the strategy and decisions, there was a survey done by DataBox. How are we dependent on analytics? If you can see from this survey, all right, it's quite high. We consider analytics when making decision and strategies, but also other factors. Of course, we can't just base on analytics alone, because we do have, for example, in a hospital environment, the clinicians and medical practitioners will use analytics to make certain decisions about treatment plans for the patient that would improve the survival of the patient. Of course, the clinician might also use his own or her own experience to try to give the best solution or best treatment option to the patient. Hence, in analytics alone is not sufficient. We need the human expertise as well, or other decisions, other factors. The kind of analytics that are most popular today is the descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, prescriptive, predictive. These are commonly used analytics that are basically very, very common today. The difference is in descriptive, you normally have questions like what has happened. In diagnostic, why did it happen? Predictive, what will most is for the future. Yeah, you predict what's going to happen in the future. And prescriptive is basically the steps. Now, in 2023, the survey that has been done, okay, by Status Insights, it is, you can see from here that the kind of industry that is involved or that is very widely impacted by data analytics, the highest would be the two main industries, which is finance and healthcare. And followed by media, engineering. Most of you, I noticed that you all are from engineering. This is also a very important field in data analytics. But my experience in healthcare, I believe that healthcare can be transformed using analytics, and newer methods or newer outcomes can be generated, and overall survival of patients can be improved using analytics. We have done some research project, I would say, which has created quite a big impact, because when we talk to the clinicians, when we use analytics to come up with our predictions, it's quite interesting to the clinicians, because from their experience, whatever they have been working on, it's quite interesting to see the other side of the story, where we use analytics to come up with the same predictions compared to human predictions. So we use about 8,000 patients with 23 variables. The general pipeline, machine learning pipeline that we use is model evaluation, random forest, further modeling, variable selection, decision tree, and survival curves. We noticed that after we do the model evaluation on this data set, okay, random forest performed the highest, although the rest of the modeling was quite similar. The accuracy is quite standard, yeah. And this is basically the calibration analysis to check the reliability curve of our data set. And we also perform some variable selection, feature selection, I would say, to see what are the features that are mostly involved in predicting the survival of our breast cancer patients. And we noticed that we use two methods, okay, vSurf and random forest explainer. These are the two methods that we use to try to find the factors that are involved in the survival of breast cancer patient. And the results that we got is basically looking at the word cloud here. The bigger size is the highest, the most important factor, which is tumor size, cancer stage, total axillary lymph nodes removed, positive lymph nodes, primary treatment, method of diagnosis. So these are the important factors. And when we check with the clinicians, of course, they do agree that the machine learning prediction also, is in line with what it's in line with the experience, or in line with what the clinicians think is the important factors are. Hence, we use these important factors to come up with our decision tree to check the survival percentage of our patients, looking at the decisions. For example, first we start with the cancer stage classification, total lymph nodes removed, and then positive lymph nodes. And if you follow the decision tree here, okay, the nodes, we will see that metastatic cancer has the lowest survival rate, which we all agree that metastatic cancer is almost incurable. And curable cancer, of course, is dependent on other factors, for example, the total lymph nodes, positive lymph nodes, and so on. And the survival curves we have basically using all the important factors that we have come up from our analysis. We can see that the cancer stage classification for pre-cancer, curable cancer, metastatic cancer, the time of survival is shortened in metastatic cancer compared to pre-cancer, and also depending on the tumor size. And we actually compared our results with the AJCC manual, which is the most important manual used by clinicians to do staging. And our machine learning method actually yielded a little bit of difference in the classification of tumor size and number of positive lymph nodes. A bit of difference in the findings. Of course, it's not that different, but maybe, agency cancer staging manual, maybe if we use a lot of machine learning or AI, we can relook at the cancer staging manual and see how we could improve the staging. The second project that I would like to discuss here, I need to also look at the time. Okay, I have about 10 minutes now. And
sorry to interrupt, Dr. Sarinder. There are around 5 minutes more. 5 minutes for you to speak and 5 minutes for questions.
All right. Okay.
Thanks.
Noted. All right. Okay. The second project is basically we build a system for the Malaysian MyBCC study. All right, Malaysian breast cancer survivorship cohort study, and we build an AI method using an AI methodology. We link our servers, our database with the R programs, and we build a portal, okay, to see visuals of how age at diagnosis affects, how breastfeed status affect age at first child, what are the other factors that affect the survival of our patients. And these are some of the plots that we use, or basically used by clinicians to look at every patient that we have in the hospital. Okay, the third project that I would like to share here is basically the predictive analytics using free text radiology and pathology reports from the hospital, because mostly ours is a teaching hospital. Hence we train the radiologists and pathologists to do narrative reporting. And from the narrative reporting, we then extract very important factors or variables that are important for decision making. And this is the overview of project that we have built from current reporting method. UMMC is our hospital, and then the proposed solution for structured reporting. And here for this, we discuss a lot with the radiologists and pathologists to try to extract the computer itself will extract important variable using text mining algorithms that we have built in our system. And the data and elements, we have all these radiology data and elements as well as pathology data elements. And the text mining process that we have is the basic pipeline, the standard pipeline of text mining. And the GUI, we have built a very straightforward GUI that will be used by the hospital to, input a narrative report. And then on the right-hand side, we get the structured report, and also we build a HTML from here, the structured summarized report. This data then goes into a reporting template that we have created. And these are some of the examples, because it's not easy to do text mining from data that is written by human, because every radiologist or pathologist will write in their own, best known method or style, reporting style. Hence, we need to really teach the computer how to find the important factors, important variables. Now, so why we build this is because we want to do data mining, we want to do predictive analytics, and also we want to adopt AI into our healthcare to try to find or do stuff automatically and generate reports. And what we perceive our lab, we are actually we are building a very AI-oriented digital platform for modern cancer healthcare, where we build EMRs for breast cancer, also for other cancers, and then we do a lot of research EMRs as well, not only clinical EMR, but also research EMR that will be used by our researchers. Also, we are planning to add in the AI-powered sentiment analysis on our data set to see what is public's opinion on our hospital, and also the process, the diagnostic treatment process. And we are connecting with our research databases, for example, Biobank, BreastQ, and also other mortality databases from the country. And finally, we are coming up with our own mobile application for e-communication between doctors, nurses, and patients. This is a public hospital, so funding is also limited. Hence, we are building, using our own researchers and scientists to come up with this model. Okay, that's all. If you have any questions, you can proceed with questions, and we can then move on to question and answer session. Over to you, Jyoti.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks for the insightful talk, Dr. Sarinder Kaur. So we have some questions in the chat. There is one from Roland. It says, do you find that medical notes are different across countries as well as hospitals?
Well, at the moment, our NLP algorithm, we work on notes from our own hospital, where it's a large hospital with a lot of staff working on radiology and pathology reporting. But we have not seen reports from other hospitals yet. Of course, we are collaborating, trying to initiate collaborations with hospitals around in other countries to see how our algorithm works with the reporting system in the other hospitals as well.
Right. There's one more question from me. So you mentioned about your ML algorithms where it says that good quality data is really important. So do you also put some focus on data governance or data quality in your work?
Yes, of course, when we, the first-hand data that we get from our EMR or from our hospital, we need to evaluate the quality of the data to see, because sometimes we do have a lot of missing data and columns that are not available and empty columns as well. Hence, we do imputation, we use methods, machine learning methods to either we remove if it's really empty, or we try to perform imputation using AI methods or machine learning methods.
Okay,
We
that's
do a lot of
interesting.
data cleaning. Yeah, we do a lot of data cleaning before we do analytics.
Yep. There's one more question in the chat. Are there any specific database software that you use for all your studies?
All right. This is very interesting, because in my lab, we only use open source systems. We use a lot of Python, we use R. We don't use third-party software. As I mentioned to you, my aim is because ours is a public hospital, and funding is limited in terms of getting or buying software. Hence, we do it from scratch, where we write our own programs and we build our own systems.
One more question. What do you think about the difficulties of having big bioinformatics data?
Personally, I think it's the storage because, yeah, of course, we do have cloud computing storage and all that. But to maintain this data, we need to pump in, money. And even if we get servers and all that, we do need to come up with the infrastructure for our, storage servers. Hence, I would say the best method would be to collaborate with like NCBI, GEO, where they already have data storage systems, very advanced storage systems where we can deposit our data and so on. I think it's not viable to store your own data in your own servers due to the amount of funding that you would need. Another way is probably if you can come up with some new methods of data storage, like using blockchain and so on. That is another method of storage that at the moment, we are also looking into all these things. But overall, I would say that, coming up with a bioinformatics pipeline or using Python, using R to do analysis is still doable. The only problem is trying to store our data if we have a lot of data.
All right. Thanks for all the insights, Dr. Sarinder Kaur. Yeah, I think we are a bit over the time, 20 minutes. We are 20 minutes behind. So I'd like to start with the next session. Is that good, Roland?